Well, as we know, software stocks have been having a tough go of it over the past couple of months, but we've seen a bit of an upturn as of late. Qualtrics helping matters. The shares are down a little bit today, but we've seen an upturn recently after the company reported its earnings. The Qualtrics CEO Zig Serafin is with us now. Zig, first of all, help us understand what Qualtrics does for people who are not familiar with the company and this sort of next phase of sort of relationship management software.
Yes, good morning, Julie and Brian, and thanks for having me on and having us on. Well, Qualtrics is focused on helping every company that is becoming a digital company to focus on the core experience of the customer, the employee. And so we help to be able to build deeper connections, build deeper, more authentic relationships with their customers and their employees. And most importantly, take right actions at the right time, whether it's related to the product, whether it's the way that the customer is being engaged digitally or in person. And all of that ultimately ends up showing up in the way the brand is related by the customer or the employee.
You know, Zig, when your biggest customers are coming to you now, those accounts that are worth more than $1 million annual recurring revenue, what is their biggest need right now as we have settled into this hybrid work environment?
Yeah, Ryan, and I'm glad you called that out. We had about a 93% increase in our $1 million plus customers and in our annual growth for that. And we had 61% subscription growth in the fourth quarter. So we're seeing an acceleration in the business. You know, you had Carol Tomé on just a moment ago, UPS CEO and one of the innovators around what it takes to be able to lead in this marketplace. And what customers are doing, and as you heard Carol talk a little bit ago, is tuning in more into the hearts and minds of their employees and of their customers, taking friction out of the system, and ultimately using that as a way to be able to better engage with the business that they end up serving and using that as a differentiator. And that's where the experience management system that we've built comes into play, which is being able to help make timely decisions, be able to help know where the friction that's being taken out of the system actually can end up making a difference and moving the needle on the business.
And Zig, I wonder if you are frustrated at all, because you guys are showing this progress that you're talking about. You came to market not that long ago after spinning out from SAP, and you've been caught up in this software sell-off. Is that frustrating? And what do you want to try to communicate to potential investors?
You know, Julie, we've been at this for a while. This company's been around for 20 years, and we've been a high grower. We've been an innovator in our category. The analysts are responding to our overall progress and our performance. If you look at the number of buy ratings that are on the company, and look, we're taking a long-term view. We see a robust market that's ahead of us. We've continued to have consecutive growth of performance, and we're frankly seeing acceleration in what we're doing. And the company could not be more relevant. And look, the investors that see that are also investing in the long run. They're not watching the day-to-day. They're looking at the fundamentals of this business. And we could not be more important currently in the way that companies end up using this platform to engage with their customers as part of a digital transformation, to engage with their employees, to be able to understand what's on the hearts and minds of their employees, to be able to build high-performing workforces, to attract talent that they need to be able to bring in as part of a company. So those are the factors that we're paying attention to in the way that we're leading this market.
You're just building on Julie's point, Zig. There's been a lot of volatility in markets, lots of concern about economic growth slowing down. Are you seeing any pause on those large contracts, those large deals that you've been closing?
Well, we saw strong demand in the fourth quarter. We're coming out of the year, and as I mentioned, we had 61% year-over-year growth in our subscription. We're guiding towards north of $1.4 billion in 2022. And I would say that the demand is, effectively robust and it's sustained. And, what's guiding that and what's driving that is experience matters more than ever. You heard Carol Tomé talk about this quite eloquently and the way that actually is helping to be able to shape and create innovation and frankly, differentiation in their marketplace. And many other companies, many other industries are seeing this across the four core experiences of their business in the way that they engage with their customers, in the way that they bring their employees to be able to better serve their customers, to build market-leading products, and ultimately be able to set apart the way that their brands are positioned in their markets. And we're at the heart of that, and that's partly what's driving this business.
And so, Zig, I would ask you a similar question to what I asked Carol, which has to do with finding good people right now. I know it is very competitive within technology. And so, are you finding them? And what are you having to pay them? Are you having to raise pay for folks to get them on board?
Yeah, hi, Julie. It's a great question. And, there's not a CEO, there's not an executive that I talk to these days where the war on talent is a real reality. It doesn't matter what industry that people are in. And, what's behind a lot of this, and it's a lot of our research shows this, is that people want more flexibility and they want more choice. It's been, a very low barrier these days to be able to identify a new job and to be able to make a switch. You can do that within a click of the mouse. Technology has made more options possible for the way that employees engage with the employer and who they work for. And so compensation is certainly one factor, but there are many other factors. In fact, most CEOs that I speak to will say that the old playbook for how you end up leading a workforce is being thrown out, and there's a new playbook that's being written. And our technology in the employee experience area, we have an employee experience system, helps companies to be able to understand what really matters to different segments of a workforce. What does it take to be able to attract new talent? How do you engage a team and be able to create a total rewards program that is partly compensation, but what are the other factors that actually will resonate? How do you shape the culture? And so what we're finding is as these changes are taking place, the companies that are leading are those who are tuning in to better understand what's on the hearts and minds of their employees and use that to differentiate the position that they have in their marketplace.
And it's tougher than ever, of course, with this hybrid/remote work environment for many folks. Zig, really good point, really interesting conversation. Thanks for being here. Zig Serafin is the CEO of Qualtrics. Thank you.